Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boxing Unlimited here once again, and today we'll be talking about the fight coming up against Jaime, Munguia, and Bruno Surace. Is the second fight is a rematch. We saw what happened in the first fight. It was an astonishing upset. Nobody believed it. It was unbelievable because when you look at when some people, for me, I think it's a cherry picking gone wrong. We keep talking about cherry picking. You never know when you cherry pick and then be in trouble. We've seen it happen in boxing several times. We remember the John Tate fight with Mike Weaver. Bavaron was just preparing John Tate, preparing him for to take over after Muhammad Ali retired. But what we saw was a different thing. He was knocked out in the final round. Thereabout. So the same thing here, we're seeing Munguia, who is, in fact, gave arguably one of the best fighters of this generation, Canelo Everest, gave him a hard time, even though Canelo knocked him down. We saw it happen. And then we saw Surace come into the equation with only 4 to 5 knockouts in his CV and in 25 fights, and then knock Munguia senseless. So this is boxing, but that is what boxing is sweet. That is why people watch boxing. The unpredictable nature of boxing, you cannot say what's going to happen next time or between this opponent and the, because at the end of the day, that is why we say that styles make fights. We're saying it every time, style make fight. And one punch can change the whole complexion of the fight. It does happen. We've seen it happen several times. We saw it the other day against Joshua and the Boer. Joshua lost that fight in the first round. As soon as he gave up the front foot, the center of the ring, and got cracked on the head by the Boer, he never recovered. It does happen everywhere. It does happen. We've seen it happen against him and the Ruiz, again, Andy Ruiz in his defense. The first time he lost the title and came back to become a second heavyweight champion of the world. Having said that, that is by the way, and we're looking at this fight proper, we're looking at it's a revenge party, so to say the least, for Munguia. Munguia is a good boxer. He's only had 2 blemishes on his career, one by Canelo Everest and the other one by Bruno Surace. So they will see a rematch in this fight. If he loses again in this fight, then there's something wrong in him. But I don't expect him to lose if he fights in a certain way. And what way is he going to fight? First and foremost, do not underrate your opponent. I think that was the issue he had. You underrated him. He thought he was because he cherry-picked him. He thought he didn't have that knockout power in his CV. He looked at it and said no, and then came in direct, not knowing that this guy is dangerous, to say the least. Because that punch that he threw, he came out with a fake left and then came with a strong on the right combo. It was a funny and a very good punch. He just came in, and that's it, bro. That's it. That was the end of it. He couldn't beat the count. He came up at 9.5, and then the referee had to stop the fight. No doubt about that. It was a good stoppage, but it wasn't a happy ending for Munguia. So he's come to redeem it. Can he do that? That's the question. Because Surace is riding high on confidence and momentum. But I believe Jaime can. Jaime can. Whether he can do that and survive. Because Munguia is, whether psychologically is okay after just about 5 months or thereabout, he got knocked out. Whether he's psychologically fit for this fight is another question. Yeah, because when you're going at a rematch, the person is fighting, he knows your style already. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for you anymore. So, and then if he's somebody that is beating you or knocked you out, you have to come out with a different system to nullify his already known system or his punches, because Bruno Surace knows he can hurt Munguia. He's done it, and doing it at, but because he was down in round 2, if you remember the fight, he was down as well in round 2, and he came up in round 5 to knock out Munguia, round 6 actually. He came out to knock him out. That shows he's got a chin, and because when he was knocked out, Munguia was all over him trying to knock him out, but he kept his cool, and his legs were not gone as they should have been, and he weathered the storm, and they came over with his own idea, which we were seeing, which was the knockout. But when you're cherry picking, you have to be very careful. It's very dangerous. It's happened several times. We said it by that before. But this fight proper, I think it's a revenge party. That is what we'll call it, the revenge party. Whether there's going to be a revenge or there's going to be another win would be the big question, the $1 million question to ask at the moment. But let us see what happens. We're looking at the fight and we think Munguia has a chance. He has more chances because he's the one that is more experienced in big fights, big names, and in over 40 something fights, he's won almost all and lost only Canelo, which was not a shame. But this one is lost to Surace is a shame, and he wants to redeem it immediately. Let us see whether that's going to be happening. Munguia, as we said, was caught with a sucker punch. He never expected it because he underrated his opponent, and he was overconfident on the day. So he never saw it coming. That is the thing. Defense is going to be the key for Surace because he felt he could knock this guy out, and the guy hasn't got a punch. He was quite open. He was easily, open to the punches and the counters. And the guy is a counter puncher. Bruno is a counter puncher of the highest element. And when he counter punches, he comes to the, he can fight on the back foot as well. He comes to the center of the ring, he moves around. So it's going to be very difficult for Munguia, but I think Munguia can win this fight on decision because from all indications we've seen that Bruno possesses a very strong shin. For him to come down from a knockdown in the second round and knock Munguia out in the 6th shows you a lot of things about him, not only technically but psychologically as well. So we're looking at this fight and we are saying that Munguia will have to fight very carefully in his fight. He has to cut the ring and cut it cleverly, and then when he goes in, he must come with combinations and do not let him off the hook, because the knockdown in round 2 in the first half of the fight, he let him off the hook and made him come back again. So it might be a problem for him because this guy can fight on the back foot. It's not about pushing him back on the back foot and making him uncomfortable. It's about the defense when you're entering. The caution you have to pay attention to some of those little things that makes you open in a boxing fight. That is what you have to pay attention to at the moment for you to win this fight. For Munguia to win, we're expecting to win on decision in this fight. For him to win, he has to be very careful and dedicated to his defense and attack equally. Combination is the key, and movement of his head, because he was static actually in the process of being knocked out, because that fake left jab, and then the right across through the side and the up, and then that rocked him apart. It probably rocked him apart and put him in a place where he couldn't answer the bell. He was obviously out already on his legs. He has a chance another time. That is the chance coming. Whether he's going to take advantage of it is what we don't know, and that is the $1 million question as well, because these fights you see, when they come, when you have opportunity, take care of the opportunity and move on. So, boy, this fight, accuracy of punches is very important here. Anything can happen, in this fight. But we believe Munguia will win by decision, and we'll give the fight to Munguia to win by decision. Our time is up here. Do please subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow. And do have a nice day, and God bless. Bye.